here's where I am with Malik Willis, Max. I think there's three things that stand out about his game that kind of separate him from anybody else in this draft class. Number one, powerful grace. He's this big, powerful athlete, but he's not just that. There's a grace to his game as well that combination makes him very different than everybody else. I think the second thing is he was forced to play at a really high level, almost that above the X's and O's kind of carrier football team because, and I'm not taking a shot at his, there just wasn't a tremendous amount of talent that was around him. And they were very much so reliant on his ability to go make plays. He was forced to kind of have to have that mindset on a consistent basis. And that's something that's really appealing nowadays at the quarterback position. And then I think the third thing is all the questions that are attached to him are the same questions, or most of them attached to what they were about Josh Allen coming out of Wyoming. Oh, he's got, accuracy issues. How? Watch the game. Is he perfect? No. But these overwhelming accuracy issues are the same things that people were saying about Josh Allen. And that in that moment, I was like, with Josh, no, they don't. He completed 58% of his passes. Well, he had 3 drops that game. If they didn't have those 3 drops, the completion percentage would have gone to 63 guys. So I think he's one of those guys that it's so important to evaluate kind of the ability to play rather than the end product.
But, Dan, I just want to follow up on that quickly. I hear you on Josh Allen, and these are all projections, but Josh Allen to me is the most optimistic projection because not only did he have the raw stuff, but like it's the perfect success story. Went to the right place, had the internal drive to do it, plus the external teaching around him, right? So he goes from rookie what he was, second year he was twice as good, third year he was twice as good again. Wouldn't like Malik Willis, maybe he has the same stuff, but what are the odds that he follows that trajectory? It's
rare in the NFL. There's a reason why quarterbacks that go in the first round fail so quickly and so much, and it's a combination of their own, problems and also the organizations. I have said this about Malik Willis, and it's very similar to the situation for Josh Allen. He needs 2 things. Number one, he needs to be drafted by a team that has a starting quarterback. Hey, this guy's good enough to start. He's good enough for us to win some games with. Josh had that with Tyrod Taylor. And then the second thing is he needs a coach that does not have to win this season or he's going to get fired. And Josh had that with Sean McDermott, and I think Malik Willis needs that because then there's not going to be this pressure to force him on the field. I don't believe in this guy's not ready or he is ready conversation about quarterbacks. I believe in does he have skills, talents, and traits that are going to allow him to go survive kind of in the NFL right now. He's not there yet. We don't know what Malik Willis is like off the field. I don't know what he's like at 6 o'clock in the morning, his leadership in the locker room. I'm not privy to that information in a deep level. That's why these conversations in the time that these teams spend with these players is such a big deal. But I think the ideal situation for him is either Pittsburgh at 20 or Atlanta at 8. Both of those teams have quarterbacks that they can start and they can win some games with. And then both of those teams do not have coaches that, if they have a struggling season, are going to be fired.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh is the perfect spot for him, Dan. You talked about quarterback and Mitch Trubisky, who you could call a bridge guy, whatever it is, but you got a head coach there that's not going to be fired. Right. And you got a team that's set up for success. They got a few toys to play with in the backfield with Harris, on the perimeter at the wide receiver position, and you know that they are all in and committed to trying to win. That's a perfect situation. Atlanta's okay, but I think Marcus Mariota still has some game left in him, and Arthur Smith is going to surely give him an opportunity and a chance to be the starter.
Yeah, and I think for Pittsburgh, Key, if we look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, first of all, one of the best head coaches in the NFL. They've got one of the best young tailbacks in the NFL. They've got one of the best young tight ends in the NFL. They've got 2 really good young and up-and-coming receivers in Claypool and Deontay Johnson. Their tight end being Pat Freiermuth. You mentioned Najee Harris at tailback. So there's a plethora of kind of people, that go on the journey with the quarterback, the weapons that you could sit there and say, all right, we could take Malik Willis and he could be one of the foundation points for us really in 2023 moving forward. The only thing I say about Atlanta, Key, and this is why, is if you believe that if you can get Malik Willis to play at a 9 out of 10, like you can get him to reach his absolute highest, then you kind of expedite your rebuild. they're taking the dead cap with Matt Ryan trade and all that. And everyone says, well, wait till next year with the quarterback class. I agree that the quarterback class in college football coming out next year has the opportunity to be really good. But I don't know where Atlanta's going to be next year. I don't know what their draft situation is going to be. Those quarterbacks might go 1, 2, 3 coming out of college. So if you think Malik Willis has got a chance to be a very, very good player, and if you believe that you've got the structure there and the patience there to kind of build him up and not force his necessity on the field, and you like him, then I think he's a guy that's talented enough that you believe worth taking.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.